we know already. So first we have already studied about respiration in animals, right? So respiration is a very important process in the case of animals, because with the help of the respiration process only, the whatever the glucose is there, it will convert into the energy, right? From the energy only, it is the converting into the different source of
Yes. So
other
can I say?
formats. But to get the glucose, first you have to get it from the plants. That is happening in the case of nutrition in the plants. So preparation of the glucose is done in the plants in leaves, right?
Yes, sir. Can I say?
So first, what is the
So
meaning of?
there are two types, sir. Autotrophs and heterotrophs.
Okay, what is the meaning of nutrition first?
So the nutrition is like
The amount of food, the intake of food and the proper utilization by the body for growth, development, and
The nutrition is nothing but the process of taking the food by an organism and utilization for the body.
yes, sir.
The process of taking the food by an organism and how it is going to utilize for the
Body.
that is called as a nutrition.
Yes, sir.
So generally, if you take the animals, it cannot prepare the food on their own, right?
Yes, sir.
Except green algae. Green algae is the only one which will prepare the food on its own. Except that remaining will not prepare the food on its own. So
Yes,
indirectly we are depending, directly or indirectly we are depending upon the plants for the source of food.
Yes, sir. So, sir, autotrophs, can I say?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Autotrophs, they make their own food by simple substances by the process of photosynthesis.
So we have the two modes of nutrition. One is autotrophs, the other one is the
And heterotrophs.
heterotrophs. So autotrophs means what? Which will prepare the food on their own with the help of the sunlight and the
Yes, sir.
carbon dioxide, water present in our surroundings. So the best one you know already, it is the plants. Apart from the plants, remaining all are the heterotrophic nutrition only.
Sir, like even not all plants can prepare their autotrophs. Venus flytrap and pitcher plant are dependent, sir. They are heterotrophs.
Yeah, we have the, again the different. We have the again different types of things are there.
Hello, sir.
1 minute, please.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So autotrophs and then heterotrophs. Yes, some plants. Okay, so some plants will prepare the food on their own. Only few plants are there which will depends on the other plants also, like cascata, parasitic nutrition, or the decomposition and all. Okay. So next one is a photosynthesis process. Now tell me the equation for photosynthesis. What is the equation for photosynthesis?
Sir, are you asking about photosynthesis? Sir, 2H2. No, yeah. No.
What is the photosynthesis?
Sir, the process by which the process by which the green plants make their own food in the form of simpler
No, H2O
process with
The equation is very important. Okay.
H12 plus 280.
So energy plus 6H2O plus 6CO2 in the presence of sunlight and photosynthesis gives C6H12O6 plus 6O2.
So 6CO2 plus 6H2O will form C6H12O6 plus 6H2O. Okay, that is a photosynthesis equation. Okay, that is a photosynthesis equation. So it's very, very important because it is the basic equation which is providing food for everything on the earth. Yes or no? Without the photosynthesis
Yes,
process,
sir.
whether the formation of food is possible?
No, sir.
No, right? So it's very important equation, compulsory you have to remember. Not only in the word format, compulsory in the equation format also you have to remember. 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O. In the presence of sunlight and the chlorophyll will give C6H12O6 plus 6O2. So is it an endothermic process or the exothermic process?
Sir, endothermic.
Endothermic process, good. Which will absorb the energy in the form of sunlight. Okay. Whether what is the site of the photosynthesis? Is it only the stem? Sorry, is it only the leaves?
No, sir.
Then
Sir, like stem, roots.
Sir, stem and leaves. Sir, like the green parts of the plant which have
Man.
Sir, in photosynthesis, if we take small plants, sometimes in the early stages, the plant will also contain chlorophyll. That's why it will appear green. So photosynthesis will take place in both stem and leaves. But when the plant grows up, again bark starts to come all over the stem, and the plant cannot perform the photosynthesis in the stem. So later on, it will perform the photosynthesis only in the leaves, because by then the leaves will also be a lot, right?
okay, good. So just photosynthesis is not going to happen only in the leaves. So wherever the green color part is present in the plants, the photosynthesis will take place in other parts like stem also, in the roots also. Okay. Suppose if you have seen some plants which are growing inside our home, we'll have the different color leaves like red color or orange color or the other yellow colors and all. So in those plants, the leaves are the not the main site for the photosynthesis, but stem part is the main site for the photosynthesis. Right? So this is the image of the photosynthesis process. So these are the roots which will have the xylem vessels which will carry the water and the minerals to the leaves. So the inside the leaves you have the water. So it will absorb the carbon dioxide gas from the stomatal, from the atmosphere to the stomatal openings. Then with the help of the carbon dioxide water, it will combine, will produce the glucose, and it will store the glucose in the form of starch. It is also important. The plant will store the food in the form of what? In the form of
Sir, starch.
starch. What about the animals? We discussed about the nutrition in
Sir,
animals.
fat.
Okay.
Sir, fat.
Flat. Raghav, what is the answer?
Sir,
So animals will store the food in the form of.
sir, animals, glycogen.
What is the answer?
Glycogen.
Glycogen is the answer. Plants will store the food in the form of starch, but animals will store the food in the form of glycogen. Okay, again the glycogen will convert into the glucose, glucose again into the pyruvate. Do you know, any one of you, what is the meaning of pyruvate?
Sir.
Pyruvate, P-Y-R-U-V-A-T.
Sir, no.
Pyruvate. No or S?
Sir, no.
No, sir.
Sir, but I know that. Oh, that's ATP, I think.
It's ATP is different. I will show you one chart. Okay, it's not in the class 7th, it's actually in the class 10th. But right now we are discussing that only, right? I will show you the chart. 1 minute. Will you see, or will you skip that one?
Sir, we'll see. Sir, we'll see.
Okay, wait
Sir,
a
we'll
minute.
see.
Wait a minute. So actually this chart will get in the class 10th. Okay. Can you see the textbook now?
Yeah, sir.
So again, we'll study the same life process in the class 10th, first chapter in the biology. The life process, nutrition. Again, this is the first chapter. Right now, we're discussing
Sir, that is
about,
NCRT textbook.
yeah.
Autotrophic.
So autotrophic nutrition. Again,
Autotrophic or autotrophic and Yeah.
Same. What type of nutrition we are going? Heterotropic nutrition.
Sir,
10th class.
Yeah, class
nutrition
10.
in
That's
human
what is very
banks.
important topic.
Sir, it's 10th class.
Yeah, CBSE class
Sir,
10.
but the topics are same to us, no, sir?
It will be same, but somewhat extra information will be there in this. That's all the difference. Like this. If you see
Yeah,
this,
sir. Ethanol, alcohol plus carbon dioxide plus energy to carbon. Okay.
can you see this?
Yeah, sir. That's what.
Now see the chart.
The absence of organism in yeast. Yeah, sir. It respires. So 1 minute, sir. I'm taking a screenshot. Yes, sir.
Okay. So conversion of glucose into the pyruvate. Pyruvate means what? 3 carbon molecule, which is happening inside the cell in the cytoplasm. Okay. So conversion of glucose into the pyruvate is happening in the cell in the cytoplasm part. Then again the pyruvate has a chance to convert into the ethanol or the lactic acid or the carbon dioxide in the different ways. So in the case of anaerobic respiration, that is in the absence of oxygen, it will convert into the ethanol, carbon dioxide and the energy. So in which cell it is happening? In the case of yeast, it is going to happen. Are you understanding what I'm speaking? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. Can
Are
you
you
hear me?
understanding
Sir, we
what?
are there, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Glucose to
Clear.
the pyruvate, which is happened in the cell in cytoplasm part. Again, this pyruvate will break down into the ethanol or the lactic acid or the carbon dioxide. Okay. So pyruvate to the ethanol in the absence of oxygen, that will take place in the yeast. Pyruvate to the lactic acid, it will take place in the muscle cells whenever there is a deficiency of oxygen after doing the exercise or the running or any other physical exercise you are doing. And pyruvate to the carbon dioxide, water and the energy. It will happen in the mitochondria. Have you listened these terms? Mitochondria, cytoplasm. Have you listened the terms?
No, sir.
No. Suppose you have taken the cell. You know the cell, right?
Yes, sir. I have in my normal class.
Yes, sir. I heard
Yes,
of
sir.
that.
So in the
word.
cell, these are the cell organelles: mitochondria, googly bodies,
Yes, I
ribosomes,
saw it in my brother's
lysosomes,
textbook.
cytoplasm. So outside of all the things, you'll have the cell wall.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think it is not there in the class 7. Maybe it will come in the class 8th, 9th,
I
10th.
saw it in
Sir,
Google.
grade 9, sir. My brother's textbook has it.
Good. You're saying the brother textbook.
Yes.
Oh, good. So the
Sir, I have access. My biology teacher has explained that in my school.
okay. So all these are the important steps in the conversion from glucose to the carbon dioxide. Shall we move back to the topic? Have taken the screenshot of this.
Sir, long back, sir.
Yes, sir. We take this.
Sir, one more minute. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is the photosynthesis process. Again, the same. Yeah, we are going to discuss about this only, right? Cells. So if you take the cell, now you got the cytoplasm. What is the meaning of cytoplasm? If you take the cell, at the center of the cell, we have the nucleus, like the thing. Okay. So outside this one, we have the cytoplasm, that is a fluid, liquid fluid. Sorry, thick fluid will be there. So cell is what? all the living organisms made from the small building units called as in cells. So cells are the structural and the function units of the life of the body of all the living organisms. So when you combine the cells, it will form the tissue. When you combine the tissue, it will form the organs. When you combine all the organs, it will form the basic structure for the different organisms. Right? So we cannot see these cells with the help of the naked eye. You can see only under the microscopes. Okay, so there will be some wall will be there. The outer boundary of the cell is called as a cell wall or the cell membrane. So what is the main use of the cell wall? Just to separate the one cell to the other cell, or to bound all the cell organelles within the cell. To keep all the cell organelles within the cell, there will be one cell wall will be there, or the cell membrane will be there on the outer layer of the cell. So if you take one particular cell, it will have the nucleus. It will have the jelly-like substance which is called as a cytoplasm. So inside the cytoplasm only, these cell organisms will be there. Which I told you right now, right? Lysosomes, liposomes, googly bodies. Next, mitochondria. If you take the mitochondria, that is the powerhouse of the cell. What is the mitochondria? What is mitochondria?
Powerhouse of
The powerhouse of the cell.
Powerhouse of the cell, because the glucose is converting into the carbon dioxide in mitochondria only, right? That means ATP formation will be happen in mitochondria or not?
Yes, sir.
We are saying about the ATP and all, right? Adenosine triphosphate.
Yes, sir.
So which is formation will be done only in the mitochondria. So we can call it as powerhouse of the cell. Okay.
So does ATP mean energy or it carries energy?
ATPs are the energy molecules. So whenever the cell wants the energy, it will break the ATP so that it will get the energy.
Okay, sir.
So again the same, the inorganic raw materials. What are the required things for the photosynthesis process? So what are the things? Raw materials: carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, and the chlorophyll.
will.
Okay. You have seen the video of the leaf, the complete structure of the leaf.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, this is Raghav, sir. I had a network connection problem because there's a power cut over here and I left the meeting.
Okay, Raghav. Now we are discussing about the cytoplasm, about the cell, so about the cell organelles, lysosomes, ribosomes. So I have
Okay.
listened these terms.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So if you take the glucose, it will break inside the cell in the presence of mitochondria only. So mitochondria is called as a powerhouse of the cell.
Yes, sir, because mitochondria will only store the ATP.
So it is only the mitochondria where the glucose is converting to the carbon dioxide and the formation of ATPs, right? So again, the ATP is the energy packet for the cell. Whenever the cell required energy, it will break this energy packet and utilize it. That's all. Okay. Any doubts in this?
No, sir. No, sir.
So what is the role of chlorophyll? What is the role of chlorophyll?
Chlorophyll. Sir, it traps sunlight. It traps sunlight. It traps sunlight for the energy, sir.
Sir, actually, your voice was breaking, sir. I cannot hear you properly.
Try to.
Sir, what is the question you asked?
What is chlorophyll?
Sir?
Chlorophyll.
Sir, can I tell, sir? Chlorophyll is a
green pigment in
in leaves. It is used to excuse me. It is used to trap the light energy from the sun in order to perform photosynthesis.
Okay, good. So chlorophyll is a green color
Sir,
pigment present in the plant.
sir, can I, sir, what is chlorophyll? Sir, can I tell what is a chlorophyll?
Sir, chlorophyll is present in leaf.
Yes, sir, chlorophyll is a cell which, green cell which leaves
Green
the
pigment.
green leaves and
Which
young
traps solar
green
energy for
pigment.
photosynthesis.
Sir, and also the young stem of a plant contain tiny green structures called chloroplasts. Sir, and they appear green because they contain green pigment called chlorophyll.
Okay. So chlorophyll helps in the capturing of the sunlight and for the help in the conversion of this carbon dioxide into glucose. Okay, chlorophyll only will do this process. Conversion of the carbon dioxide into the glucose molecule will be done with the help of the chlorophyll only inside the leaves. So next we know the product of photosynthesis. So first before this we'll see one video about the leaf, then we'll discuss the topic, okay, further.
Sir, we actually saw this video, right?
Yeah, we
Yes, sir, we saw.
So again, can you place a right hand?
I will watch it. Okay, hope it's video on it is.
Any doubts?
No, sir.
Sir, in middle it's
No, sir.
Sorry.
sir, in middle it was breaking.
In middle it was breaking.
Sir, I think we have seen this video before, right?
Sorry.
Sir, I think we saw this video before, right?
You already watched this one during the regular class itself.
Yeah, sir, that's what. Sir, why are you showing again?
So again you have to revise, right?
Yes, sir, okay.
the amazing process of photosynthesis. A look around at nature is an absolute
Yeah. Is it clear now? What are the different parts or the different components will be there inside the leaves?
Yes, sir.
So mainly the stomatal opening will be there. From there only the exchange of gases will takes place. So the leaf will take the carbon dioxide gas through the stomatal opening. Okay. Again, the stomatal opening and the closing will be controlled by the guard cells. Okay. So again, the transpiration process. What is the meaning of transpiration? What is the meaning of transpiration?
Sir, it is transpiration, right?
Yeah.
Yes, the process
It
by
is the
which
releasing of water vapor
yes.
through stomata.
So through the aerial parts of the plant. So the loss of water in a plant in the form of water vapor through the aerial parts of the plant is called water, like transpiration.
So transpiration means what? Lossing of the water, loss of the water from the plants into the atmosphere.
Loss of water vapor from
Loss
the
of the
aerial
water
plant.
from
Water
the
vapor.
leaves into the
Area parts of
atmosphere is called as a transpiration. So which is also happening through the stomatal pores opening only. So due to this transpiration due to this transpiration only, there will be suction pull in the leaves, which will take the water from the roots to the leaves. Yes or no? So without the transpiration process, whether the water will travel from roots to leaves, is it possible? Without the transpiration process, whether water will move from roots to the leaves of the plant? Yes or no?
No, sir.
The water will move easily from higher altitude to lower altitude only, right? It will not move from lower to higher without any pump and all.
Yes, sir.
So whenever the transpiration is happening, there will be huge amount of water loss will happen in the leaves. Now the leaves require the water. So from roots only it can take the water again. So that is only the transpiration process. Okay. Next product of photosynthesis. About the leaf, we have just seen in the video. The stomatal openings. The guard cells will be there around the stomatal openings. Chlorophylls, chloroplast. Okay, chloroplasts are the pigments which will contain the chlorophyll. So important of photosynthesis you know already. Without the photosynthesis process, there is no life is possible on the earth because the plants will prepare the food only with the help of this process. So next one is the photosynthesis in the leaves of the various color. This also we discussed in the starting itself. If the leaves of the plant is having the different colors, the photosynthesis will take place in the other part of the plants like stem or the roots. Okay. So what are the main things it can provide other than the carbohydrates in the case of plants? What are those? So discussing about the photosynthesis, it will provide only the carbohydrates.
Sir, it can also produce oxygen as a byproduct.
As oxygen is a very important byproduct, right? Without oxygen, we cannot survive on the earth. Even the photosynthesis has second place. Next, apart from the oxygen and carbon dioxide, it can also provide the nutritious food, right? There are so many nutrients are there which are obtained from the plants itself, like proteins.
Yes, sir.
So proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins, and all the things from the plant products we're getting. So like fruits, seeds, leaves,
right? Stem also. So from the different plant products, we are getting the different types of nutrients. These are also obtained from the plant source only. So starch or glucose in rice, in seeds like wheat, rice, and various parts of the plants like potato tuber. Sometimes the starch or glucose are also stored in the form of their oil in the seeds. Example is the sunflower oil. So next one, apart from these also it will provide the proteins. It will also provide the fats, minerals, vitamins, and etc. different types of nutrients. Okay, that is a one type of nutrition. That is in the cause of autotrophic nutrition. Next we'll come back to the heterotrophic form of nutrition. In the case of heterotrophic nutrition,
Heterotrophic means it does not make its own food.
in the case of
Sir,
heterotrophic
like,
nutrition, what is going to happen?
sir, like the plants and animals, they
So
cannot cook by their
they
own.
so they take each other's help to like
Yeah,
produce
sir.
food.
Sir,
So
sir, it
like
depends
there
on
are different types of
Yeah,
heterotrophs,
sir.
parasitic plants, insectivorous
Insectivorous
plants,
and symbiosis.
saprophytic, symbiotic. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Sir, parasitic plants, they depend on host plant for the absorb of nutrients and waters. Sir, in parasitic plants, there are two types of plants which are partially parasited and totally parasited. Sir, and partially parasited only takes some amount, whereas total parasite takes all from the another plant.
Okay.
Sir, and
So one example of complete parasite is Cuscata and Rafflesia.
Yes, sir. Even Cuscata.
Cascade also.
Cuscata.
So Ishan,
Sir, and also insectivorous plants have chlorophyll in their.
Yes, sir.
yeah. So what do you know about the parasitic plants?
Sir, parasitic plants are the type of plants that get their nutrition from other organisms, sir, and that
Host
other
plant.
organism is called a host.
Good.
Sir, plants can either be fully parasitic or semi-parasitic, in which case they get some nutrition by themselves and get some by their host. And the fully parasitic ones get all of the nutrition from the host, sir.
Good. What about Raghav?
Sir? Yeah, yes, sir. Sir,
Sir, can I
parasitic
say?
Wait.
Yes, sir. Parasitic plants are the plants which they derive the nutrition from the host plant. What they do is they either grow on top of it or they grow on top of it only. They just cover up their leaves and they start sucking all the nutrients whenever the photosynthesis takes place in the leaf. The example is shown in the picture which you are showing, sir.
Good. Next. Somebody say, can I say before? Someone said, can I say now?
Ritvik, sir.
Okay, Ritik, I will give you other chance, okay? Not in this. So parasitic means you know better, right? It will not prepare the food on its own. So it will depend upon the other plants to get the food. So we can see here the yellow color part is there, right? That is only the parasitic plant, which is called.
Sir, Dodder and Amargal also partially parasite. Sorry.
Sir, can I
parasite.
explain once?
Hmm?
Sir, can I say something?
Two are speaking at the same time. I can't understand, right? Who is speaking?
Sir, sir, can I say about this?
Yeah.
Cuscata plant is a leaf parasite plant. This plant grows on top of the tree, like shown in the picture. It derives its nutrition when it's on the host. Another example of a one of the examples of a partial parasitic plant will be sandalwood tree. Sandalwood tree is a partial root parasite. it can produce it can supply its own food through photosynthesis. It also needs supplementary food from other plants. It takes this food through the roots.
Good.
Sir, can I add a point?
Yeah, Harini.
So the partial parasitic plants only prepare their food, but then they depend on the other plants or the host for water and minerals only. And one example of partial parasitic plant is mosquito.
Okay, good. So you know better what is the parasitic plants, right? They will not prepare the food on their own, but they will depend upon the other plants. Other plants only they will depend upon. Okay. So best examples are the amarbel and the cascada. So these parasitic plants which are depending upon the other plants, that plant is called as an host. The host is the one which will provide the nutrients and food products to the parasitic plant. Okay. So these parasitic plant will sucking the food from the roots which will penetrate into the host plant and will take the food materials from the host plant. So you can see the picture here how it is going to happen. The next one is the insectivorous. So we'll stop here. Any quiz link is there?